everyone, it's Carolyn, here to share another channeled message from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings I channel for your awakening and ascension journey support. So today, we're talking about the solstice, which is on Sunday, and then we're talking about moving forward. Now, we've been using a lot of metaphors since probably about a year ago, and those metaphors shift and change. The pictures that I receive, they continue to become a bigger picture, tell a broader story, but they use the pieces from the past videos to continue the theme. So there's some additions to what I have brought through previously, and of course that would make sense because we're at the solstice, which is really, what I'm getting is it's like going to be a whole different year for us. And remember, these are individual stories as well as collective, so we're going to talk about that today as well. And what they brought through was a channel of what the energies are going to be like in the solstice and what we see moving forward, and they also gave some visualizations, and then we're going to talk about that. I want to try to maybe get them to talk a little bit more about the individual journey. They finish with that here in the channel, but I want to see what we'll get at the end as I bring through potentially more information. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Carolyn. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channels from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings who I channel for your support during your journey. So if you're new to my channel, check out below in the description box. It takes you to a link that takes you to a video on flow and how to create it in your body for health and wellness. But what it does is it signs you up for my email list, where I offer a channel a week, and that channel is from the Light Keepers, and it helps support you in your journey for the week to come. Typically, it's sent out every Friday or Saturday. So join me there. You get another channeled message, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's go ahead and read the channel, and then as usual, I'm going to comment at the end. Now, again, what I will remind you is when I do this work, I know when I'm going to get a channel, and I sit down and I record it, it just comes flying through me. The reason I don't do them live is because I talk too fast. And so what I've done is I've transcribed this, and I will read it. And so the first part is the Light Keepers actually speaking in their tongue or in their voice, and then I will speak because they channel information through me, through my voice. And that's when I see pictures and I get information. So it's all channeled information. It's just whether or not it's coming directly through their voice or through mine. Where have you come from? So far away, the journey that you've had in your day. It brings you now to this gateway to the solstice that is right in front of you. For it is a journey in time. For you know that deep in your mind, this is the launching off for the rest of the year in your day. For the energies have been strong in your past months, bringing you to a deep understanding of you, as you have centered in yourself, learned so much from where you have come from in your day, made changes and adjustments, and yes, we say too, dug deep into the heart in the feeling of you, understanding that it is not the external world that creates who you are today. For you are creating from inside out, we say. This is how the new earth will be created. And now you find that you're ready too. So much has shifted and changed in you. You see yourself very differently, and we appreciate the work you have done. For it is all of the divine. For you have understood longer now that the beginning of this transformation is from the deep inside of you. The healing of your heart and the gentleness too that you bring to your learning of who you have been and where you have come from, we say too. And now you see the forest for the trees, and more than you have ever been, to understand and see that this is the day of the new dawn. You are opening up to the shifts and changes in time. Those that are presented right in front of you of your face, we say. Take a deep breath and look at them in your way. Do you feel it? Do you know it? And do you wish to grab onto it too? For the gold ring is right in front of you. The rest of this year will shake and quake, we find, and yes, you'll see how much change is all around you. You will look at it, and you will find it, and you will see it too, and you will understand how much of it is not for you. And then you will walk on your way. Give grace to all of those in your way, but you understand from your inside too where you are going. No longer the uphill battle for you. And yet the times will come where you will look oftentimes at those in your way and wonder why they can't come along too. But remember, it is an individual journey, each to their own, we say. And you are ones having journeyed long and hard, and now reap the rewards abound. Entering in your way, we find the greater manifestations and creations in time. For this is the way of the earth. It is what you wish for it to be in your day. And the more that you know that deep inside you have what you wish to become, you will see it come to fruition. Not just within yourself, but this is the first place for it to be done in your day. And then it will reach out, the energy you create from the new you in time, out into the others, the collective, we say, and out into the new earth that you're building today. So that's their channel. And then I say, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about what we see coming up here in June. You've given us a good start, a good frame of reference. Show me this if you will. Oh wow, I have chills. You must be going to show me something. Okay, and then I want to talk about individual journeys and what we can do moving forward into the rest of the year. Because this is wholly a different last half of the year. And if you can show me a little bit about this last half, I know we'll be focused on summer, but at the same time, the last half would be helpful as well. Okay, so show me some pictures. Okay, so you're showing me launching off on the platform. So then they say, launching off on the platform we find. You know you're flying over those around you in time. And then I say, okay, so last time we talked about those who've gone around the summit, light workers who've gone around the summit of the mountain that we've been climbing to assist others. And then those of us who are over flying, holding up the energy, holding space, where others will be right in the thick of it, the ones who've gone around the summit and go down into help, particularly the summer. As many of us are out traveling more, we will find ourselves wanting to go places or being drawn to places by opportunities, or small weekend trips, or even large trips. Whatever that means, whether you're traveling into the heart of your city, or if you're traveling to a neighbor you haven't seen in a while, if you're traveling cross country or any vacations in between. Wow, it feels like, oh my gosh, you just said on the move. Yes, a lot of people are on the move, and it feels we will have the urge to share our light in places that we travel to. And you may not even understand why, even at the spur of the moment, you may be meant to go somewhere. This is your higher self leading you. This ties in very directly with what we talked about in the last video, the eclipse video, where we will be drawn, I'm very much getting outside our four walls is what you're saying, in whatever way that means for each of us, but very much drawn into the outer world. It's as though we collected and increased our vibration of the course of time where we were more sheltered in the past year. And now that things have opened back up, it's like we collected light to share. And now, with the work that we did, those of us light workers now, we're moving out into the field, you just said, moving out into the field to share our light and our energy. And just by being in that awareness, there's nothing we have to do in particular, but be. Sharing our light wherever we go that makes a difference. And you don't have to have a plan. You just need to go with what your heart feels, where you feel you are needed. Wow, this is very much summer. And then the light keepers say, traveling across time, your energy will assist the others to come into the new gateway, their path, for they will understand what this summer means for them in time. But you are here to support them in whatever way you understand in your day, flying over high the chasm we have spoken of, or walking around the summit of the mountain to assist those in the chasm, trying to come out of it. And then I say, okay, so we've seen the chasm between the two plateaus, the mountain we've come off of, we've either come around the summit to go down in and help those in the chasm between the two plateaus, or we're up above on the mountain flying over. That's been the information in the past videos. So we've seen the chasm, we've seen those flying over the top, the light workers flying over the top, holding up the energy, holding space, coming over that chasm. So can you show me what June looks like? Because we're showing light workers flying over, we're showing other light workers summiting around, helping others in a more, I guess I'll just say, what feels like physical 3D way. And even though that's also energetic, it's less energetic than those flying over the top. So can you please show me where we are going? And so then they start showing me more pictures. And so a lot of what I comment on here is the pictures that they're showing me. Oh, okay, now you're talking about climbing out of the chasm. I'm seeing this. It's like those of us who were in the chasm, kind of in the muck, in the thick of things with the rest of the collective, we're carrying them out. Working in the thick of things. Okay, I'm seeing, oh, you just said a helping hand. Yes, I'm seeing many on the other side. It's like we've reached a different plateau coming out of the chasm. Oh my gosh, this is the solstice. Okay, we're pulling them out. This is the new energetic from the solstice, the energetic bridge. I'm seeing a bridge that's been created now from one plateau to another and allowing those to come out of the chasm as well. Okay, so this is the solstice is what you're saying, and you're showing the old picture of the two plateaus and then the big chasm where all the tough stuff of 3D is happening, the muck and mire, all the strife we see in daily life. From the big issues, you know, the fight and the strife, that's down in the chasm. And we have those of us who are flying over, holding the energetics, holding up the canopy, that tent. Remember the event tent, the stanchions we talk about all the time, holding it up so the event can take place. We're holding space, holding that energy. But those of us down in that chasm are actually helping. And now what you're showing me for this month is you're showing this very specifically helping one-on-one. But what is happening in this solstice is a bridge is now being offered. And I have so many chills, and chills are an emphasis on what you just said. Okay, it's an energetic bridge is what you're saying. You're showing now we're on the other side of this plateau. We're flying over the mountain, over the chasm. We've come off of that. We're now pulling others out, helping them up in a very calm and gentle way to the other plateau and coming up the chasm. But that's the solstice bridge is what you're saying. So this is divine intervention, celestial intervention to assist us further, which we do have on occasion, divine intervention. And many of these energetic events are divine intervention. Oh my gosh, you're calling it a solstice bridge. It's a light bridge that is allowing people to come up from the chasm. It's also arching over the chasm, but allowing those coming up from the chasm to join in those coming from the other side. So the others coming from behind who aren't in the muck are crossing over. And they won't have to find themselves falling down into the chasm. And I'm talking about the collective coming from behind us. And there are also other light workers coming. But coming from behind us is the collective now, and they're going to follow us over this light bridge that's been created across the two plateaus. That's the solstice, is that bridge. So there's an energetic bridge that is helping those in the collective, many in the collective, cross to a higher vibration. Because remember, we're all one, even though they aren't awakened. But it's because of the work that we have done, the light workers have done, and the energies coming in with the solstice. It's the bridge getting us to the next plateau. Because what we have now in this new visual you're giving me is this bridge from one plateau to the other. And the collective is coming across it, and also those who are really in the muck, in the chasm that fell in, that have gotten stuck in the day-to-day, in the news, in the conspiracy theory, in all the fear and the strife and the worry. We're helping pull them up. So we've really kind of got two kinds of groups, you can say collectively. Those who aren't attached to the everyday muck and mire of what's happening, and those who are drowning in it. The ones in the chasm are the ones that are drowning, and we're assisting to help them not drown. We're helping with whatever events are occurring, whatever's happening, if they're in the swirl of all of that, in the thick of it, or have chosen to be in the thick of it. But then we have others coming that are of the collective, that aren't necessarily awakening, but maybe starting to awaken in some way. but they're coming across on the bridge. It's like our light has helped them follow us and not fall down into the chasm of fear and worry and anger and strife and infighting and separation. They're stepping across. They're going across the muck and the mire. And it's people, new people awakening, so they don't have to go down in the muck and the mire. And many in the muck and the mire now are going to start coming up, and that's who we're saving. We're pulling up to the next plateau. There's different ways of this working now because of the solstice energies. That's the don't get stuck in the everyday mess of humankind. Don't look back like Lot's wife. Don't watch the news all the time. That's when we can get out of the muck and the mire, and that's what we're seeing the light workers helping with. And then the solstice adds the bridge. The collective has this opportunity to cross that light bridge, to come over to what is the creation out of this new earth. That's the new plateau. We actually now are showing where we are visually. Wow. Okay, so we've come off that mountain, we've flown over, or we've come into the chasm. But now, where we are in June and coming into summer, we're in this new plateau. You're showing us having come across. We're coming up to the plateau, and we're on the other side, pulling people up, helping them also cross that bridge. Oh my gosh, you just said a new day is dawning. Oh, so the solstice is allowing this new day to dawn. Oh my gosh, I have so many chills. Okay, so now this is really different what I'm seeing. We haven't seen this before because I've never been taken to the other plateau to see what's there. But what I'm seeing is a flat plateau of just light. White light, yellow light, orange light. It's just light. And it's flat and it's full of light. I have so many chills. Okay, so you're saying a light path is in front of you. And then they say, to gain frequency and vibration as you journey forward in the months to come. For the summer months will be of great energetic shift and change. You will see it in actual 3D events of the continued crumbling of the structures that no longer serve, and in the earth of her rehealing herself in a way that has not been seen before. And then I got super chills. It will be in all ways, and you will see and watch from the light path. And then I said, it's a huge light path that we're on. It's huge. It's really, honestly, it feels like, well, now you're showing me Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz as a metaphor, and the yellow brick road, and everything that happened to her, that swirled around her, all those crazy things that happened, but she still came back to the yellow brick road for the most part. I mean, she got diverted, but she always comes back to her yellow brick road path. And this is what you're showing me. This is the plateau, this beautiful, broad expanse. From one side to the other, you can't see anything but yellow, crystalline white light. So what this plateau now offers is all light. It's like a yellow brick road, but 100 times fold. It's huge, but it's golden white, crystalline light. And yet, what you're saying now is we're still going to feel the rumbling of the earth. Okay, you're just saying like it's white noise. There's noise all around us, all the things that are happening in the collective and occurring. And kind of the whole Lot's wife thing. Don't look back into the chasm. Don't look back. Follow the light path. Follow the light path. But we're going to feel the rumblings. We're going to feel it. And there are those still being stuck in the chasm. And that's the old earth, right? So stuck in the chasm, like trying and fighting and infighting. So some will still be there, but we're really ready to move on. We are ready to move on. So we're moving on. We're taking those next steps. We're taking the full collective with us in one way or the other energetically. Everyone is being impacted in some way. But we still have the deep darkness. But there's a great split because we're moving on. There's a bigger divide. Okay, so this time now, with the big differences in this visual after the solstice, this is the moving on part. This is what we're showing. And we've said before, don't look at the past, like we just said about Lot's wife. But now we're really not. We're just looking forward. We're moving forward in this, and we're marching on in these new beautiful energies of the Aquarian age. And we're holding on to those. We're marching on with those who are following, who are in the collective, some awakening, some not, and yet those not stuck in the muck and the mire. Also those who are, as we said, newly awakened. Also other light workers. Behind the first wavers. We're moving forward. We're taking the collective with us. We're on the new plateau following this beautiful path of light that stretches far and wide. And that's all I can see. So it's kind of like the 100th monkey thing, but there's, oh, you just said magnetic. It's very magnetic. Yes, the light is pulling us that way, and it's just a plateau that I see. I don't even see any mountains right now. I don't know what that means for the future, but I'm not seeing any mountains. But there is so much rumbling. There's a quaking, and I have so many chills. And that's all around us. It's all around us. But we keep marching. But the light is so bright, taking us through summer with all the events that are going to happen. Oh, transformationally, you're saying. Yes, transformationally. I feel like we're going through another portal of light. Okay, you might remember some time ago, remember the solstice in December. Like the pathway that you showed me is the same metaphor for the circle of light in the cosmos that we went through, where we went through the portal and we saw back in December all the light, and we knew we were shifting and changing to a different vibration and timeline. And this is exactly what's happening. It feels very much like a dimensional shift and change as we enter into the pathway of massive crystalline light. We're very much going into a full-on new stage, We're going to feel it and we're going to know it. I think that's where we're going to stop, because this is so different than anything I've seen before, and you're not showing me really anything else, but this is what we need to know. We are stepping up. This is the pathway of light that we are now following after the solstice. I want to talk about what this means individually for lightworkers. We haven't done that much before, but what can we as individual lightworkers and first wavers really expect? And then the lightkeepers say, a greater shift and change in their trajectory of where they may be going in the future. New ideas, new creations. They see the way forward in light, the shedding of the old, the tamping down of the ego that tells you what you can be and can't be, that you used to listen to and will no longer. It is slowly being put aside, being put in the back seat. It will always journey with the human, but now you work from the heart space and the knowing of what you truly desire and want and wish, not only for yourself, but for the collective, which will then be made manifest in these new earth times. For it all comes from within. For as one does, so do others. And as others do, so do all. And as all do, so does the new earth. We leave you in light and love this day, now, and forevermore. Okay, so that is the channel. And I have super chills as I read that last part. God, that was so beautiful. Talking about as one does, all do. As all do, so does the new earth. Go back to that and listen to that again. To me, that's just so beautiful and so true. So what's new in this is I think you recognize from having listened to the past videos, and if you haven't, you might want to go back, but I think you can kind of get the gist of what their metaphors are. What's new here is this light bridge that the solstice has offered, similar to the portal that we saw in December that they brought through. Remember, we were moving through, the earth was moving through this circular like light in the cosmos, and we were going into this portal, and it was just shifting dimensionally. We're shifting timelines. We're moving into complete new energy, and we did. Think how 2021 has been so different energetically, and it's happening again with this solstice. So this solstice is creating this light bridge of energy for those coming from behind us, moving into not having to necessarily fly over or go down into the muck, but crossing the light bridge. But we're still helping. But the collective is being assisted over this light bridge too, so they don't have to drop down into the muck and mire where so many people are. But we're down there also, some of us still helping, right? In the 3D, like literally in the muck and mire, doing the work, right? And some of us, again, are holding up the event tent, the energy, holding space for that work to be done in the chasm, to pull those up who have sunk down deep into fear, anger, sadness, frustration, all of that the ego will bring us in the lower energies. So we're seeing that, but this new light bridge has come in since the solstice. So the light bridge, what they've shown as a summary, is it's arching over the two plateaus, but it also is coming up from the chasm, okay? So there's an opportunity for some help coming for those in the chasm, and the light workers down there helping. And then what happens is we merge up here and we start coming out of the chasm. Now remember, it's like ants in an anthill. You know, they all are marching along and it takes forever for them to get to their home. That's the way it is here. This isn't all happening overnight. Everybody's done and we're out of the chasm and we say goodbye to all that. This is a process, okay? But what we're seeing now is the first stages of this. And what we see now is we're on the other side of the plateau. The metaphor they give us is we're actually on this other plateau, okay? And they're not showing any mountains. They're showing literally all I can see is an expanse of just bright, crystalline, yellow, white, beautiful light. But here's the key, is we're going to have, as they said, unstable ground. And I think, honestly, that means, as they said, that means all around us, even though we're in this great expanse of light, and really being guided forward, it's always just one foot in the front of the other. Keep taking one foot in front of the other. You have to keep taking one foot in front of the other. Don't go back. Don't fall backwards into the chasm, okay? So you've come out of the chasm, you've come across the light bridge, or you've flown over. Whatever you have been doing, you're going to, in the coming months, they just said over the course of this year, or they just said find yourself in a new place at year's end. Huh. A lot of energy. I have a lot of chills on that. Okay, so this is what they're showing through summer. So this beautiful light plateau, what I'm getting here is that doesn't mean we're not going to have trials and tribulations. In fact, I think we're actually going to have more than we ever imagined. So much shift and change. We just need to be prepared for that. We just want to know that the light pathway is there. Does it keep taking that step forward each day? And again, you know, it's interesting. They're not talking so much about individual stuff that we're working on. This is an inside job, though. Remember that. You never stop that part. This is all individual, but they're very much talking about the collective now. It feels like we're going to manifest and start seeing out of our ideas and our creation some manifestation of what we have hoped for and wished for. It may be something as simple as you got a new idea on what you want to do, and you know that these energies will help support you. So remember, it's still about the individual journey, but it's about the creation and manifestation of that. But ultimately, it's about knowing that you're already on that path. You've been doing this work, all right? You've been doing this work. All those mountains you climbed in the past videos, right? All the trials and tribulations, all the inner work, all the energetic stuff, which of course we're still going to have. But there's something, okay, they just said smooths out. Smooths out on this pathway. It's as though, okay, they just said, you see your path forward. It is of light and bright and grace. The trials and tribulations will be all around you. And yes, you will encounter some of your own. Oh, but they just said, okay, it's like a video game, but you will knock them off one by one. You know, it's kind of like just coming through and it feels like there's some speeding up of time as well. I think time has been a strange thing for all of us lately. So what I'm very much getting is it feels like because of the work that we've done, what we encounter in our day-to-day, we're going to move through it faster, okay? And not because we're going to ignore it, we're going to work it, okay? We're going to work it because we know how to work it. And we know we're supported and we're feeling the energies. We understand this. We're going to feel the solstice, okay? We're going to feel it. And I don't mean just that day. I'm talking as time moves on in the summer. Summer is a big deal. June, July, well, I feel like I'm already done with June. We're halfway through. It's the 15th right now. But the point is we're going to feel this solstice energy all the rest of the year, but it's taking us down that light path. And so individually what we can expect, they alluded to this a bit, but okay, I just heard continued inner work, continued remnant clearing. Oh, they said you may receive some brand new revelations, things you could never have considered before. Okay, so don't get fearful about this. They said that can both darken and lighten your pathway. Oh, but it's how you look at it. See? Turn it inside, learn from it, and move forward. And they just said, because you will knock them off one by one. So if we have darkness or difficulties come our way, the energies are conducive because we're higher vibrational. We're higher vibrationally. That assists us in clearing. And when I say clearing, that means working through our stuff, our emotions, our feelings, our inner child stuff, our past traumas from our growing up years, past lives that we don't even understand and know, but we clear those. Clearing means working through the emotion, even if you don't understand it, just leaning into it, doing the self-care, working through it. You know, you may even want to work with those who do this work to understand, why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Bring through past lives. As you know, I do that work. So if you're having lots of struggles, that may be something you want to consider. So use your tools, use your services available to you if you're finding yourself in a place that you don't understand. Okay, so we're going to have the darkness, we're going to have the light within each of us, but we're going to knock it off one by one. That's that huge light path that I'm seeing, because that solstice energy is going to assist us working through our stuff, and it feels like we're going to exponentially move forward in the coming months. But what we see around us is going to be difficult to see, but the light surrounds us. I've never seen anything like this. So what I'm getting is individual creation. They're saying time to move forward. Don't fret and don't strive. Don't bring fear. Don't bring anger. Don't bring impatience into the mix. All those emotions that we can as humans do, that I'll just say block in some ways. Remember the pebbles on the stream, the boulders on the stream. Remember the flow of the stream. You're going down the stream. Don't throw more pebbles in by doing all the anxious stuff and the worry and the fright and the fear and the anger. And you can name 10,000 human emotions that will just build a blockade of your path down the stream, right? So what you want to do is notice you have the emotion. You don't want to squash it and not feel it. You want to notice you have the emotion and deal with it. Cry. Do something, do a meditation where you go in and you try to understand what you're feeling. Talk to someone. Talk to your angels and guides. Ask for assistance. Ask for help. My point in this is, what they're saying is, we're still going to have some of this stuff, but we're going to knock it off faster. Knock it off faster. So you may find a lot. Oh, okay, they just showed, this is funny. They're so funny sometimes with their metaphors. They just showed the car driving down the highway and all these bugs splatting onto the windshield. You're going to have that, but you're still going to be able to see. You're going to see the light path, and then you'll stop and you'll clean the windshield off, and you start over and you get all the bugs again, right? It's the same idea. And they're primarily annoyances, all right? But remember, we may still have things coming up in our journey that we are here to deal with. That's just the fact of an incarnation. But it's going to be easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to start being able to create more out of that, of what we want for our future. And remember, it's always a passion and inspiration of the thing that you want to do next. It's looking at the deep heart of who you are. We're being guided by our feelings. We're no longer being guided by the ego. The ego has been worked on these past few months. Many of you know this. We've had energies coming in where it is assisting the ego in what they just said, taking a back seat, all right? It doesn't mean it's not with us. Accept it for what it is, but it's in the back seat. And it's not kicking the seat, and it's not poking you in the head as you're driving, because now you're driving the car. All right, so what you're going to continue to have is the ego with us. And on occasion, it will poke back up. And that ego will bring doubt, worry, concern, all of those things, as you know, self-worth, self-love, not feeling you're good enough. But you know you are. You've done this work. You know you are. When you listen to the heart of who you are, listen to the heart. Always take what you were wondering about and questioning and ask the heart what it feels. Don't ask the mind, all right? Because the mind does that circular thing where we spin, and I'm a master at that. I just let myself spin into a frenzy, and then finally I have to have a breakdown of some kind to go, oh, that happened again. No, I need to talk to the heart. So we are in a completely new place, starting with the solstice, and these energies are starting to come in, okay? But we're going to see some massive shift and change. Again, I've talked about Earth events. Let's just see if they offer anything. Okay, they just said all around the swirl and change will be undeniable. Do not fear for what you see, for it will break down faster than you imagine. You're moving faster through time and space in these days to come. You will see and you will know. You will feel it deep in your soul. But the shift and change is real and undeniable. And we ask you to march forward in trust, faith, passion, desire, inspiration for what is to come, for you are on the light path of all time, one that has never been seen before in humankind. And now you march forward step by step, one foot in front of the other, nothing dissuades you from your journey forward. And those who come from behind you recognize you and understand you to be the brother and sister of light, moving forward in the greatest of all time, the ascension of humankind to the new earth. They will follow you forever and a day, now, here, and forevermore. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, I think that's a really good way to end it. I didn't expect that, so I hope you enjoyed this video today. Wow. So take some time for yourself to really put out your intention for the solstice. Stay in your light. Continue to work on that self-love and coming from the deep heart of you in all that you do. Because that's the biggest struggle we have, right? Is the self-love, self-worth in all that we do. And the ego has really been worked on over the last few months and will continue to be, but that's why we're now on this plateau of light. And it's an opportunity for us to move forward collectively, as I said, and I really don't need to add more words because they really said it all. So today, I thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the solstice, make an intention for yourself, spend a little time alone, reflecting, and entering into this new phase of humankind that's to come in this rest of this year of 2021. And I thank you so much for joining me. And as I leave you, I will remind you of my services, purplerainhealing.com. If you want some channeled information for your journey, your individual journey, I offer channeled sessions in all that I do, whether it includes distance energy healing or a full soul journey session with Celeste and myself. I offer you information that assists you in your present situation, but also tells you about your past and also assists you on your future moving forward. So you get the full breadth and depth. And again, like I always say, these are beautiful sessions for you to be able to take information forward for the rest of your journey in 2021. And I would love to work with you. So thank you so much for joining me. Happy solstice, and I will see you in the next video.